Aloha family, Spencer-Mack here, cultivating the ultimate state, chronically contemplating those things that are good. In this world of duality, there's always two sides. In any given moment, there is one that is good, life, affirmative, and there is one that is negative and detrimental. We are learning here to cultivate the skill of always finding that life-affirming perspective in all scenarios. There is always a gift in every moment, no matter how chaotic it seems. And that art I find to be the most valuable one. So, right in line with cultivating life, yesterday I touched on the value of cover crops. Because see here, we're cultivating all sorts of forms of life. We're focusing on our friend Mr. Ko, or sugarcane, but we have a diversity of fruit trees, diversity of herbs and flowers, and learning to do so has been a school for me to cultivate the life inside. And yesterday I took a moment to share that we have cover crops that we plant. And when it comes to restoring the land that you have decimated in your ignorance, because we have, our internal terrain, our microbiome mirrors this. We have decimated the amazing symphony of biology that supports life. Thinking we can understand it, we give it nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, and that's all it really needs. Well, it turns out you don't need nearly as much of those things if you create an environment with a high diversity of biology. Now, each plant comes with its own benefactors. It creates an environment where specific types of bacteria and fungus thrive, and there is a mutually beneficial relationship going on beneath the surface. So when it comes to creating a healthy, disease-free, robust crop, we need diversity, and that's where cover crops come in. We planted 28 different varieties of seeds. This is some flax, some chia, some oats, multiple forms of rye, sunflowers, some radishes, different types of brassica. And in that diversity, we restore the ecology and all of the biology under the soil. And then we plant our crop into that. We have far less disease, we have far less need for nutrients and water. We develop more organic matter in the soil, more humus. So there are so many benefits to the cover crop. And since I founded this channel on health and well-being, I have to connect that point to the body because it mirrors our body. We have decimated our microbiome with the antibacterial supplements we use, I'm totally blanking on the word. You know, they give them out all over the place in South America and Asia. Totally blanking. AntiLife Antibiotics. There you go, there it is. The antibiotics we've taken have wiped our slate clean, then opportunistic bacteria and fungi take hold, and it can be very difficult to restore our biota. And the more I've learned about how a healthy ecology of a diverse spectrum of bacteria and fungi is vital to growing super healthy crops, I know that that is true for me internally as well. So that's why it makes far more sense to me these days to head towards diversity. I consume a diverse spectrum of foods so that I can have a diverse spectrum of biology internally. Of course, I strive to make those foods local. That's another point. And I'll come back to that perhaps tomorrow. But I wanted to bring your awareness to that fascinating fact that the need for pesticides, the need for water, the need for high doses of nitrogen and phosphorus for our crops, which then run off into the rest of the ecosystem and destroy all sorts of life, that goes away to a large degree whenever we plant things like cover crops. It's profound. Cover crops are just like, if you would like to erase some of your sin, you've lived a bad life, and you'd like to make up for it before you die, plant a bunch of cover crops, and then plant some trees in them. And just go around doing that, and you're gonna go first class all the way to heaven. Swear to God. Swear to God. So that's how profoundly awesome cover crops are. And that's how we start all of our growing of our sugarcane. Whenever we're tapping in and waking up another spot of land, we bring in the diversity. And what's fascinating is that underneath the ground, you have this bacteria and these fungi, and they are vital for the plant, for our sugarcane, for instance, to get its nutrition. And it does so because the plant turns sunlight into glucose. It gives that glucose to the fungi, to the bacteria, in exchange for specific nutrients. There are bacteria and fungi that can eat the rocks, break them down, and release the phosphorus that is otherwise not available to the plants. So they exchange sugar, sunlight, to the bacteria, which give them a diverse spectrum of nutrients depending on what it is they need, a very complex communication spectrum, so they can get a wide variety of nutrition depending on their needs. So the diversity also comes in to help fight disease, because there are immune factors that come into play when you're talking about specific nutrients. And so when I got that concept, it really just blew my mind. I got really stoked about cultivating the soil, which is another reason why I love sugarcane, because it is the fastest carbon sequestering plant on the planet. Actually, it's like number 2. There's a form or two of bamboo that's faster, but nothing turns sunlight into energy faster than sugarcane. Isn't that awesome? So that's my rant for the day. Restoring the diversity, it can really help to get the right inoculants. That's something I can go into too. It's definitely a new science. We're just scratching the surface. These multi-strain probiotics are all just kind of like, oh, just throw that all in there. It's going to depend on your unique environment, and actually sourcing those bacteria and fungi from around your area and bringing them back is a good idea. I'm going to do a video on that too. Taking note. So we're heading for diversity. We're consuming diversity to be able to support a broad spectrum of bacteria, which I imagine, and I know, have the ability to transmute different foods into nutrients that we need. So just like the plant relies and exchanges a harmonious relationship with the bacteria and fungi for specific nutrients, I know we do the same thing. So learning that lesson here has made me apply it more to my life. And that's the seed I wanted to plant today. Love you guys. Please share what kind of insights, ideas, reflections come out of hearing that, and share them with me. Let's keep this loop of beneficial, life-affirming thought and action going. Thank you guys. Till next time. Peace.